At Stamford Bridge today, Chelsea and Arsenal go head-to-head in England's Premier League. From Vialli and Wenger, two terrific teams. Their talent will be put to the test now. Two great rivals for honours at home and in Europe, both with goal power aplenty. Hello once again, I'm Martin Tyler and this is Stamford Bridge. Chelsea against Arsenal, an all-London clash, but so much more than that. Both clubs rivals for the championship here. Arsenal winners as recently as '98, runners-up last season. Chelsea finished 4th and 3rd in the last two campaigns, and both also representing England in the Champions League. Amongst the packed crowd today, the FIFA delegates who are assessing England's bid to stage the 2006 World Cup, and fans of the wonderful product that is Premiership football, young and old. A real sellout. Both clubs coming into this game on the back of busy weeks in the Champions League with mixed fortunes. Arsenal were beaten 4-2 at Wembley by Barcelona on Tuesday. Chelsea pulled off a fabulous 5-goal victory in Turkey against Galatasaray on Wednesday night, and they go off to face Milan in the San Siro next Tuesday. It's a very hectic schedule. Those, though, the trappings of success. Add to that, of course, Chelsea's last league game here. Another 5-0 win over none other than Manchester United, and these are very exciting times at Stamford Bridge. As is so often in the case, match of players, a real cocktail of nations. Scanning the starting 11s, there are 8 Englishmen beginning the game. And that is the FIFA committee being entertained by England's Football Association. Chris Sutton, one of those 8 Englishmen beginning the match. And there are also in Arsenal and Chelsea 6 World Cup winners. Manu Petit, one of those. Well, picking a team in these circumstances, very difficult for both managers. Let's give you the team news. And for Chelsea, there are 3 changes from the side that won so splendidly in Turkey on Wednesday. Back come the captain Dennis Wise, Dan Petrescu also in midfield, and striker Chris Sutton. Taking a turn on the bench today, Zola, Poyet and Morris. Sutton and Torre Andre Flo starting together up front for only the 2nd time. Arsene Wenger splits up his famous back four by bringing in Silvinho and giving Nigel Winterburn an afternoon off. Manu Petit has missed the last 13 games with injury, but his return today is well timed because both Patrick Vieira and Gilles Grimondi are suspended. Dennis Bergkamp felt some stiffness in a leg muscle after his return to goal-scoring form against Barcelona, so he misses out. Davor Şuker, with 6 goals in his last 5 starts, comes back alongside Kanu. Well, rivalry here to test the refereeing skills of Alan Wilkie. He's also a man with a sense of humour as well, and I'm sure he'll need that today. Those of you who have taken the trouble to write to me about the television coverage from Chelsea will be very pleased to see that the cameras have been switched back to the west side of the ground. Hopefully it's a better angle, and from this side the sun cannot shine in the lenses, were it to shine at all. In fact, it is quite a wet weekend in southwest London. Well, the build-up to a big game like this, somewhat curtailed by the European commitments of both these clubs. But once the massive midweek fixtures were out of the way, real focus on the 90 minutes here, which stands in its own right, Chelsea v Arsenal, season after season. More than 4 years now since Chelsea last beat Arsenal in the league, though they have knocked them out of the League Cup in more recent times on a couple of occasions. Frank Leboeuf, an early header for Martin Keown. With the wind gusting around Stamford Bridge, it might be a little bit awkward gauging the longer passes. Chelsea have not conceded a goal at home in the Premier League or the Champions League so far this season, so that's one immediate target for Arsenal to end that particular record. And they, of course, have been the side that have set the defensive standards in this league. But Chelsea at the moment have been more solid. Wise concedes a free kick here. T getting back in the groove across the Dixon. Ray Parlow's had a bit of a stomach upset, and that's necessitated a change amongst the substitutes for Arsenal today. They brought in another midfielder, Paolo Vanazza, just in case Parlow can't go the distance. Concerned about fatigue in that respect, lack of match fitness as well. Touched by Flo, Parlow in quickly, Keown for company. So playing on the left-hand side of midfield these days, ahead of Babayaro. And his persistence, there's an old rivalry there between Dixon and Lasso. Lee Dixon was sent off after a fracas with Graham Lasso in this fixture last season. And it's Dixon who gets a card here at Stamford Bridge inside a couple of minutes today for his pursuit in vain of Lasso. Free kick taken while you're looking at this replay, but being ordered by the referee to be taken again. He wasn't ready either. And here's Didier Deschamps, out by Petit on the stretch. Deep French influence in this game, of course, with Arsenal under the guidance of Arsene Wenger. Game for Chelsea though, and he'd be pleased to have Manu Petit back in full working order. Petit just getting his bearings there with Silvinho. They haven't played too much together. Throw by Ferrer. Tony Adams, who celebrated his 33rd birthday recently by winning his 60th cap for England. Arsene Wenger, on the subject of birthdays, was 50 yesterday. Be no better present for him than 3 points here for Arsenal this afternoon. It'll be a tall order. Chelsea very difficult to cut down at home. Kanu. In goes Ferrer. Typical of the tenacity and attention we'd expect in the early minutes. Silvinho with the header. Chance maybe for Mark Overmars to get going, but a chance he couldn't take. Deschamps' ball. Sutton and Torre Andre Flo paired together from the start only once previously for Chelsea. And that's a game that they won't look back on with any great fondness. They were beaten recently at Watford. And also lost last Saturday at Liverpool and ended with 9 men. Desai and Wise sent off. So two great friends in close proximity then, the Nigerians Babayaro and Kanu. Chelsea's home record in the league this season: Sunderland 4-0, Aston Villa 1-0, Newcastle 1-0, Manchester United 5-0. Impressive reading. By Lasso. Trying to provide a calming touch back for Silvinho. Neither side able really to impose themselves so far. Overmars. Schuker. Wise intercepting and Petit getting it back in with Deschamps against his fellow World Cup winner Manu Petit. A bit of room for Ray Parlour. Ljungberg. Sutton coming back and catching Petit out. Flo able to take it and turn. Plenty of support for Chelsea. Andre Flo forces a corner for the home side. More often than not, Flo has been used from the bench in home games in the Premier League. A chance to make an imprint over the 90 minutes here. Desai going towards the near post. Deschamps losing his balance and the ball to Overmars. Schuker, who's proved to be a good signing for Arsenal. And Petrescu. There's no great shape to the play at all so far. That really is down to the tension that even the most experienced players would feel in a fixture such as this one. Tala. Picked up by Ljungberg. Kanu. Full 360-degree turn and he was fouled on the spin. Bergkamp, of course, involved so often at free kicks for Arsenal, not in the mix today. It's a fair way out, it's pretty central. And it's Mark Overmars, unduly troubling the Chelsea wall. Out rather, but he reached the halfway line. Dixon has got a testimonial match at the start of next month against Real Madrid. Well, Petrescu claiming he was impeded then. Instead of pursuing the ball, which might have broken his way. Wilkie not interested in the appeals. Wise. Down by Sutton, but not with the due accuracy. Overmars shorten a lot of mistakes at the moment. Wise picking out Flo. Reacting quickly. Wise on the scene again, but an attempt to just cushion a path to the left-hand side didn't come off. To steer Chelsea through a real demanding series of matches and try and take one game at a time. Play players enjoy the regularity of the rhythm of playing and being involved in the fixtures that everybody wants to see. Wise, first to it, the other captain, Adams. Plotted by Keown as flow went up. Dixon. Referee didn't like the angle of the challenge from Parler in the early burly of midfield. Anything resembling an opening carved out so far. I don't think there's any great surprise in that. Of course, Chelsea got off to a real flyer here against Manchester United, scoring inside the first 30 seconds. The man who scored it isn't in the starting 11 for the Blues today. Gustavo Poyet. Deschamps. Flag went up. So although it looked promising, the pass that was cut out, it wouldn't have brought anything for Chelsea, and the offside indeed has been given. Came off before the end for Arsenal on Tuesday. That defeat by Barcelona exposed some defensive weaknesses, but Wembley much bigger than Highbury, and indeed bigger than Stamford Bridge as well. Ground for the backmen to cover. High-tech age, can still have problems with the pressure of the ball. Maybe that's why it hasn't been passed with customary accuracy so far. Plenty of replacements on hand for Alan Wilkie. Silvinho. Petit. Overmars. Maybe a chance to have a run at Ferrer, but he was looking up away from the ball to see what was on in terms of support, and pushed it too far ahead of himself. Lovely flick by Petit. Parler fastening onto it, a shot a long way wide, but a shot. And Petit very much back in some style. Hit it with plenty of power. Wise. Here's Sutton. Oh, and that must have been close, but the flag has stayed down. Arsenal not happy with that. Chelsea get a corner. There might have been more in the offing. And it's Wise to take it. Of Chelsea players prepared to attack it. Desailly's there, Flow of course, and Chris Sutton coming through the crowd and getting to it. Sutton also a scorer against Manchester United in the 5-0. His first Premier League goal for the club he joined for £10 million from Blackburn in the summer. His early header too high. Goal to tell you about from elsewhere, from Valley Parade up in Yorkshire. Bradford City 1, Leicester 0, and Dean Saunders back in the starting lineup for Bradford, the scorer, a veteran Welsh international who served so many clubs to good effect. Rescued by Babayaro, signing in for Leboeuf, and he hasn't done that. And Chouquet, Kanu! Chelsea, with this faultless defensive record in home league games, were looking vulnerable here. Actually, could have been cleared as the Ferrer came across. certainly set it up for the Nigerian. It wasn't a true sight of goal. He flashed it into the side netting. It was Babayara's initial mistake. Sorry to disappoint Dean Saunders fans, but not Bradford fans. The scorer was Robbie Blake for Bradford against very much informed Leicester. Shuker, brilliant play from the Croatian. Silvinho. Says too much on it for Shuker and for Kanu. Silvinho brought in as the long-term replacement for Nigel Winterburn, but Winterburn not one to give up on his position easily. He's got a minor injury. Arsene Wenger has been giving both Winterburn and Lee Dixon rest from time to time. Dixon playing today. Over Mars, there's a ball on for Silvinho here, and Winterburn would have been pleased with the movement that Silvinho made down the left-hand side. The ball not quite pacey enough. T making sure the ball didn't reach the head of Chris Sutton. Kanu. Has gone up against Shuker. Concern from the referee for Manu Petit, who made that covering header. And Gary Lewin, the Arsenal and indeed the England physio, going to check the features and maybe even the hairstyle is not unduly disturbed. So Richard Attenborough, a long-time Chelsea devotee. Fede. It's measured beautifully into the stride of Sutton, back for Flo. It's Ljungberg who defended well in Arsenal's midfield. Petit taking his time, finding an avenue to clear to Parler. Desai. Fede. Two signs of the players settling to a more controlled football. David Seaman, who missed the start of the season. One goalkeeper back for the previous 4 games now. Dixon. Kanu. Ljungberg. Tenacious work from the Swede, whose experience in English League football has certainly helped him with the Swedish national team and their qualification for Euro 2000. Oh, Dixon. And the deflection gets the ball up and over. Lee Dixon, not a prolific scorer, but after almost 3 years without a goal, he got one against Everton. And last weekend's 4-1 win. He's actually chipped in, I think, 4 times with goals against Chelsea down the years, so they may be favoured opposition in terms of his goal-getting capabilities. And Arsenal, in any case, have a corner. And we'll get another one. 2 candidates to take them left-footed. Petit and Silvinho, though, giving way to Shuker, who can get extravagant bend. And still well grouped by the near post. And Fui having problems with the crowd. A fist was raised, the ball dropped only a yard or so away. But a mistake by Silvinho. Chelsea looking to break out. And they might still be able to do that. Wise. Ray Parlour played a part for Arsenal, who now have the chance to challenge Chelsea again with Schuker. He asked too much of himself in the end. All coming from Schuker's original corner. It made it very difficult for the goalkeeper, who hasn't conceded on this ground all season long. Chelsea have conceded one goal here in the League Cup, but Ed Fui didn't play in that game. And Chelsea were knocked out by a team from the lower division, Huddersfield Town. Flo. There goes Petrescu. Leboeuf. Well, it's been a very even opening 20 minutes. Kanu was dropped to the ground after that challenge from Desailly. Petrescu. Kanu's still down. Arsenal already without Dennis Bergkamp. And one of the starting strikers here. In a certain amount of distress, and Alan Wilkie waited, but the Nigerian didn't help him by getting quickly to his feet. So to the consternation of the Chelsea fans, who maybe saw signs of their team starting to build through midfield, he's stopped the game. Is Arsenal's current leading scorer with 7, including 1 in the Charity Shield. He's been led off, but that may just be to obey the regulations once treatment has been provided on the pitch. Hopefully for Arsenal, he'll soon be back. Away from Alan Wilkie. Now he rejoins Kanu. Parlour. Silvinho. Petit. Schuker. Parlour. Lovely football from Arsenal. Nice piece of interpassing in the match really so far. Do a bit to get the ball into the Chelsea penalty area, and Silvinho has given Arsenal a chance to do that. Corner given. Falling at Stamford Bridge. Arsenal pressing halfway through the first half. 0-0. Overmars with the corner. Parlour trying to go around the outside, running out of room. When you come here on a day like this, you see the fruits of Chelsea's investment. When the Premier League started in the early 90s, they were very much a mid-table side. Through the efforts, first of all, levels. They've only won the championship once. Of course, they have to get that back again. This is Kanu, who place on the roll of honour as far as the league is concerned that Arsenal have. That was 1955. They are trying to be the first champions of the new century. Flow. Kanu. Such wonderful natural elasticity. Chase here for Ljungberg. Schuke making tracks into the centre. Overmars is there as well. Kanu going down the outside. He played a big part earlier in the attack. Shortage of numbers in the centre for Arsenal. And here's Lasso. Pause to tell you that Leicester have equalised at Valley Parade. Andy Impey. Manchester City 1, Leicester City 1. Babayaro. Lowe and Sutton both making themselves available for an early ball forward. Which is a good one up to Chris Sutton. That's as far as Chelsea got, really. Getting heavier now. LeBeuf. Overmars trying to work again in tandem with Silvinho. Petrescu. Nick the ball away from Mark Overmars. Silvino's got a long way back. Keogh. Ljungberg, who would prefer, I think, to play in the central midfield, does tuck in from time to time. But certainly in the starting formation for Arsene Wenger, he's needed to work on the right-hand side. Schuke, very much a trusting player through the centre. Dixon. Kanu. Breakthrough for Arsenal as yet, but there have been one or two more encouraging moments. Arsenal lost their last London derby away at West Ham. They played pretty well, were beaten 2-1. And the sending off of Patrick Vieira in that game has cost Arsenal his services today. Dixon. Kanu trying the trickery. Keogh. Fede. Lifted forward by Dan Petrescu. And Flow. His size is conspicuous, but he does have a very good touch on the ground, not really borne out by the last attempted pass. White. Only got Sutton to try and find, but Chris Sutton is offside. They would seem not looking across and spotting the flag and having to react to the situation as if the flag had stayed down, but White's got it forward. But Sutton was too far forward. That's why he's enjoyed an England recall earlier this month against Belgium. After more than 3 years out of the international scene. So, and Deschamps. Cross goes Keogh. Also in that England team against Belgium. Deschamps. Taken in by Sutton. Now a combination of what's at stake and the prevailing conditions. without a real flow to the football. Overmars. Silvino. Arsenal will feel reasonably pleased with the last 15 minutes or so. They passed the ball somewhat better than Chelsea. It's been a goal at Villa Park. Aston Villa 0, Wimbledon 1, and the stager for the Dons, Robbie Earle. Yes, the first goal of that particular game. Wise. And so, as though he was just being tugged back then. Dixon, another little cameo of the contest really. Players given no time to dwell in possession. Lasso went down as Leboeuf back-heeled the ball. And Alan Wilkie not too impressed with the foul by Schuker over on that far touchline. He's cautioned. To Chelsea. And support sensing this might be the moment against their London rivals. The free kick just being caught maybe on the wing. Simply wondering whether he was caught unfairly by a marker. He just really ran into some heavy traffic. Maybe seen it, never seems to bat an eyelid. As if this was a training game. Letting the ball run behind. Referees continuing at the moment with the experiment of being wide for sound with their assistants. Hasn't always worked. But amidst the bedlam that is the atmosphere at Stamford Bridge, if it is efficient, it must certainly help the communication skills between the officials. Pushing given against Keown. Sutton might have been playing a part as well, but Keown taking the blame. So a second chance in quick succession for Chelsea to get a free kick into the right sort of area, into the Arsenal penalty area. Just change the angle, which made good sense. Sutton behind Desai. The delivery was better as the ball was rolled to Celestine Babayaro. It looked as though Desai was favourite, but it was over him, and it rather died on Chris Sutton. He stooped, but he didn't conquer, and it stays at 0-0. Parlour. Kanu. Schuker believing that it should be a corner, but that was neat passing from Arsenal again, with Freddie Ljungberg cutting the ball back towards Schuker. Nicely weighted ball by Kanu. Arms raised on both sides. But it went to Chelsea. Chelsea pleased, really, in some ways, to have a match of this magnitude in between their crucial Champions League games. Certainly concentrated their minds after the euphoria of going to Galatasaray, where they would been thrilled to have won 1-0 to win 5-0. It was a top-class performance. Delaying by Lasso, stretching the referee's patience. caution for Lasso. The referee's going to need eyes in the back of his head at the moment. He spotted a handball as the ball was reclaimed. There's Deschamps going in, and that left hand suspicious, not really conclusive evidence from that angle, but the assistant on the far side flagged straight away for handball. Kanu, just ahead of Shuke. Wise. Overmars. Well, the problem for Arsenal then was that Davor Shuke was concerned about being offside. He was going into reverse. So quite disturbed to have been booked for time wasting in the first half. At 0-0, he's in the home team. There's still 10 minutes to go to the break. Wise. Petrescu. And he put his hands to his head straight away, Dan Petrescu, who's offered so much finesse since being pushed forward by Gianluca Vialli to a wide right midfield role. From right back. I think the bubble has burst at Chelsea. In a Champions League group that's very tight. Remember, only 2 qualify. Hertha Berlin from Germany, who've performed very capably, beat Milan last week, and Milan. One of those 3 will miss out. In terms of progress in the Champions League, 3rd place goes into the UEFA Cup. As far as points at stake here, I do feel that there'll be something in a draw for both these London rivals today. Wise. Deschamps trying to get forward. Keown in strongly for Arsenal, looking to link up with Kanu. Schuker looking for Ljungberg, who switched really for the first time to the left-hand side. Played an advantage there. Certainly looked to foul on Sutton. Now, with Wise on the ground, the game has been stopped for offside. As Adams tracking Chris Sutton. You can see Alan Wilkie saying to Chelsea, "You play on." And then the flag went up against Torre Andre Flo, and what happened to Wise was irrelevant. Hoping that Kanu can flick it on. Actually, Arsenal do get the ball through Overmars. Thala, Kanu, back to Dixon. Kanu, but it has to be so precise, that type of play. There wasn't enough precision then. Fairly that time against Sutton. Lasso. He's not getting what he wants from the referee at the moment, Graham Lasso. Throw to Arsenal, not a free kick to Chelsea, as I was anticipating. Youngberg. Hui should be able to deal with this. Youngberg trying to take on Desailly. Now that's a worrying sight for Chelsea. Frank Leboeuf feeling the back of the left thigh, a hamstring problem. Looking across at the bench as Petrescu looks across towards Torre-Andre Flo, who puts it in the corner, sweet as you please. First blood to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Petrescu's cross, and Flo leaving Seaman flat-footed. Perfect placement from the Norwegian, who got his goal-scoring touch back in midweek in Turkey with a vengeance, and has certainly added it to it with another high-profile goal here. The joy for Chelsea of taking the lead. There's still the concern for Frank Leboeuf. Here's Flo again. Sutton. Leboeuf moving quite freely as he tracked across the run of Kanu. But Torre-Andre Flo, more used to scoring here in the league as a substitute, but picked as a starter with Chris Sutton today for the first time in a home game. And it's Wise crashing into Petit. Alan Wilkie's got the card out, and Dennis Wise gets his 5th caution, and that will add to the suspension that's already coming up for being sent off at Anfield. Schuke. Well, from a neutral perspective, it was a contest that needed a goal, really. Silvinho. Although the ball didn't cross the line, the assistant right alongside the Brazilian, keeping the flag down. Goal kick. Well, Torre-Andre Flo has started at home 18 Premiership games for Chelsea, but in those 18 games this is only his 2nd goal. That's why he's more often used as a substitute. He doesn't like that. The statistics aren't in his favour, but headers like that are, and it's Chelsea 1, Arsenal 0. Overmars, long way out. Had some support, took on the responsibility himself, fresh from his first goal of the season against Barcelona at Wembley. And plenty for Gianluca Vialli to smile about in the proximity of half-time. It's Southampton 1, Liverpool 0 at the Dell. Bradford City 2, Leicester City 1. Lee Mills has put Bradford back in front. Leboeuf. Adams. And held by Chris Sutton. Dixon. Dixon again. Kanu. Oh, the ball dropped for Mark Overmars. It came to him very quickly after a rescuing clearance from Chelsea, and that foot belonged to Frank Leboeuf. Just had to lean back slightly, Mark Overmars. It meant it was very difficult to keep it down. Youngberg getting into some useful positions down the right-hand side. The score, incidentally, for Southampton against Liverpool player who put Liverpool out of the League Cup recently, when the clubs met also at the Del Trond Egil Solfed. So it's not just Tore Andre Flo who's doing well amongst the Norwegians today. Here is Flo. Got the So on the left if he can find him. He's found him all right. And the So. Well, he hit it with plenty of power. Whether that was just a little bit of a rush of blood when a more composed approach might have done the trick, it's easy to say. Literally hit the corner flag. Overmars. They've been neat in their approach work, Arsenal, without having the sort of approach that has brought Chelsea their goal. Rather damp and depressed on the Arsenal bench. Said Petrescu. Ferre. There will be 3 minutes added on before half-time. We're into those 3 minutes now. The heaviest rain of the day. Wilkie, for the record, called off a match here before it started. Aston Villa were due to play here a year ago. Similar sort of conditions, although the rain came much earlier in the day. Leboeuf. Wise. There was enough pace on the ball to carry it out, which there was in the end. Suarez still carries the support of the Chelsea management as the captain. And there is a heart of gold in there, but again, falling out of favour with the referee. It's going to produce another ban for him. Leboeuf. Sutton getting to the forward pass. Can Arsenal fashion a meaningful attack before half-time? Overmars. Looking from Deschamps. Adams. He's given it away. Petit. To last the full distance for Arsenal here. That's another problem that they've got to circumnavigate in the second half. Looks as though they're going to go into that second half a goal down. Unless maybe Ljungberg can get here. A loose ball, get Leboeuf was first to it. Taking a drive on the back of Flo. Falls with Chelsea in any case. Say Leboeuf. Keelan slow to pick himself up. And he heads off for the half-time team talks. Gianluca Vialli will be very pleased. A game that didn't have too much flow to it in one sense. Certainly has plenty of Tore Andre Flo to talk about at half-time. His header giving Chelsea a breakthrough in a first 45 minutes of very few chances. In truth, Arsenal played a little more purposefully at times through midfield, without the cutting edge, without the ability really to sling in a cross as Dan Petrescu did. And to convert it as Flo did. They've got to find a sharper way to play in the second half. At half-time at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea 1, Arsenal 0. Welcome back to a very wet Stamford Bridge. One side of the ground is open to the elements, that is, because Chelsea can't get planning permission to fully develop the site as they would wish. They're continuing to fight that particular battle. The one consolation for their fans who are getting drenched is the fare that they're watching in home games this season, whatever the weather. Arsenal haven't become the first team to score so far against Chelsea here in the Premier League or the Champions League this season. And Chelsea have broken through 7 minutes before half-time through Torre Flo. So those who are soaked to the skin are spiritually still uplifted. Just looking round, and I can't detect any half-time substitutions. For the record, the last time Chelsea beat Arsenal in the league, the scorer was Mark Hughes. It was September '95. Been a run of 7 games between the two of them since then in the Premiership without a Chelsea win, but they certainly built a platform in the first half, and if they keep their defensive record intact, they will end that sorry sequence and take 3 points from the Gunners. Home team get the second half underway. And the one goal scorer so far, challenging with Manu Petit. Martin Keown, who went in at half-time, just clutching a bruise around the nose area. To resume. Over Mars. Really is persistent rain now. The other part of the day it was sunshine and showers. But this is a deluge. Silvino's throw. Still skipping off the surface, just taking the rain well. But that's the side of the stadium where there is absolutely no protection from it. Even in other parts of the ground, I think the rain will be blowing in. It will not deter the passion of the fans. On by Sutton. Flo was found, but Chelsea couldn't build from that. Dixon caught in possession by Graham Lasso. Torre Flo pushed out by Seaman. Flo goes in again. Well, Arsenal caught in possession in their own defensive third. Lee Dixon here, his old adversary Graham Lasso. And Torre Flo letting fly. Seaman keeping it out. Chelsea corner. Flag up, which stops Arsenal breaking out. But they were very nearly caught out with the variety in the Chelsea corner and Wise's perception. Did clear, but the flag was already raised. Well, given the tightness of Chelsea's defence, you have to say David Seaman saved them, keeping Arsenal in it. But here comes Sutton. And Flo either side of Adams. And Seaman made to scurry by the back pass. Chelsea win would take them above Arsenal in the table with 2 games in hand. So they're playing for high stakes. this early in the season. These meetings have a way of being significant. I would feel that both these clubs will be in the shakedown as far as the Premier League top placings are concerned. Certainly have been for the last couple of seasons. So, good work by Adams, but it was Overmars who instantly lost possession. Chelsea got to him very quickly. Sutton. Cleared by Dixon. And the Kanu forward. Some help here. Arsenal a bit slow supplying it, certainly in parts of the pitch which would have allowed Ljungberg to give Chelsea a problem or two in the direction of a pass. Silvinho bringing it down the touchline. Schuker, he brandished an arm then. To the face of Dan Petrescu. Schuker booked in the first half. Well, Alan Wilkie really having to tell Schuker that he must be on a last chance here. It wasn't an elbow in the face, but it was an arm off that might have had the referee thinking second yellow card. Petrescu not really making a meal of it. Mariara. Lasso. Two to try and take on. He's got a free kick for obstruction. Referee responding to the advice of his assistant. And the yellow card shown to Petit. Wise will take the free kick. He's changing the angle. Wise. Lasso. 2-0. Dan Petrescu unmarked. The player who crossed for the first goal surprises himself maybe by heading in the second, but Arsenal were nowhere near him. Lovely work by Wise, and superb delivery by Graham Lasso take nothing away from Chelsea, who are getting players into scoring positions. And Arsenal very much on the ropes here. Chelsea climbing the heights, first with Flo's header and then Dan Petrescu. Parler. Overmars. Well, Arsenal revered for their fighting spirit. They're going to need all of that and a bit more. The goal coming in the 7th minute of the second half. They scored 7 minutes before half-time of the first. Free kick to Arsenal. Parler. Early cross Cross by Keogh, and by Leboeuf. Chelsea really making a statement at home and abroad this month in particular. They have one or two iffy results as well in the League Cup, which is very low on their list of priorities. They didn't play well at Liverpool last weekend, but now they're starting to find the goal power that shattered Manchester United against the team that United would expect to be their closest rivals, Arsenal, but Chelsea coming on strong. Off goes Graham Lasso, and he goes with fresh memories of a major contribution. That was his surge that led to the free kick that Arsenal never really fully cleared, and the booking for Petit. Sutton. Gus Poyet, a two-goal man against Manchester United. He is the top scorer so far this season with 5 for Chelsea. Flo now has 4. And Dan Petrescu 3. Chelsea got better. Dixon. Kanu. This is maybe a chance for Arsenal here. Made very few attacking inroads in the second half. Davor Schuker wanting to just change the angle a little bit. Chelsea have put up a 4-man wall. It isn't quite as tight as it should be. It is maybe now. That's Dixon! He concentrated on accuracy rather than power. Possibly the most awkward moment so far for Ed de Goey. Lee Dixon was taken by surprise, but he responded well. Shot on target. Maybe the conditions in that soggy goal mouth slowing the pace of the effort before it reached the goalkeeper. Chelsea now in their play, they don't need to go chasing the game. Arsenal do, of course, and that might leave space for Chelsea to improve their lot even more. Touched on by Kanu. Was up by Schuker. He's got to be very careful. Showing the patience of the referee. Off goes Torre Andre Flo. Count on the result as yet. We've not yet had 15 minutes of the second half, but there's a sense of surprising comfort for Chelsea. I'm sure Gianluca Vialli won't want me to articulate that, but they've been the team with the cutting edge. Sutton. Parlour. Touched by Schuker. Petit. Kanu. Here's Overmars looking to take on Ferrer, who's gone into him in that untidy way that's often employed by defenders these days. lean, really. It can't be seen as too much of a push. Doesn't usually produce a yellow card. That's given the Gunners a free kick. Too high for Adams. Little disagreement with Desai. Adams looked back in anger, then quickly controlled himself. Was on the high side. Complaints from Chris Sutton, and then a late challenge by Deschamps, another booking. In these sodden conditions, not easy for the officials to properly decide on intent. It's not always easy for the players to get their technique right either. Trying to win the ball, Kanu, and no one really anticipating initially for Arsenal. Schuke did get there. Corner. Mark Overmars to take it. Half an hour to go. Arsenal are 2 down at Stamford Bridge. And Chelsea. Stronghold, this fortress mentality still intact. Wise, showing it's not just the defenders who defend. Collective effort. Dixon. For Keogh. Got Ljungberg with him. Instead, to Kanu, trying to craft something against Frank Leboeuf. Poyet. Now Flo. And Chelsea are on the move again. Torre-Andre Flo might go all the way himself, and Dan Petrescu is breathing fire to Flo's right. But strikers are expected to be single-minded, and Flo, with the first goal of the game to his name, looking to repeat the double dose that he gave to Galatasaray last Wednesday. Fede, very, very wet in that penalty area. Actually, most parts of the pitch. Sutton and Flo trying to combine. Keogh gave himself just a bit of necessary depth. Petit. Past the hour mark, and Manu Petit still out there, and you feel that Arsenal need his presence. He's got the stamina to survive. Activity from Arsene Wenger on the Arsenal bench. Getting Thierry Henry ready to come on. Overmars. No foul. Having been penalised in similar circumstances. Feels the sense of injustice. There's Frank Leboeuf. With a sense of security for Chelsea at the back. Henry. Be another substitution. This is a more expected one. Manu Petit replaced by Nelson Vivas. It's Chelsea's throw. Well, Manu Petit's return, even in these circumstances with Arsenal 2 goals adrift, will have longer-term value. Sutton. Oh, it's misjudged by Leboeuf. Chased by Schuke. Kanu in the centre. Referee just checking with his assistant as to whether that was deflected into the side netting, but it's a goal kick. And Ed Dahoui, who was anticipating a cutback, could have been caught out. A bit of urgency about his dive then, worried that the ball might sneak inside his right-hand post. But still, he keeps Chelsea's goal intact. Setting the defensive standards, but it's much more than that for Gianluca Vialli's team so far this season. Keogh. Parlour. There's an opportunity to get Overmars away. Switch to this right-hand side for Arsenal. Torre-Andre Flo, free kick in favour of the Norwegian. Chelsea have totally wasted it. Gives me opportunity just to say again how sorry we are for any loss of picture or loss of sound that you might have had over the last 5 minutes or so. Television technicians all around me working like mad to restore the power. It's been affected by the amount of water that's fallen at Stamford Bridge. We've seen plenty of that. Vivas. He missed absolutely nothing in terms of significant incident. Henry. Good kick against the Frenchman. This time Ferrer will feel the world isn't totally against him. Arsenal, who have lost at Liverpool, it was 2-0 as well. They lost at West Ham and at home to Manchester United. This would be a fourth league defeat in 12 games. The sort of standards that they've set over the past couple of seasons. I honestly say, if this game had kicked off a couple of hours later, well, it might not have gone the full distance. Still a quarter of the game to go here. Silvinho with a throw. Poyet. There's a man over. Well spotted by Chris Sutton. It's Babayaro. Back for Deschamps. Don't have to go chasing forward Chelsea, but they've still got 5 committed to this attack. Flo. Ferrer. And Wise. Great poise from Vialli's men. And Overmars finding himself in a tricky position as Arsenal are all round in the context of the game. They can't get out. And Arsenal showing their frustration in some late challenges. The most recent from Thierry Henry. Bumping into the back of Dennis Wise when he probably could have put the brakes on if he'd wanted to. I think that was down to slippery conditions. And to just add some Italian guile up front, Gianfranco Zola is going to get a piece of this game. 20 minutes to go in place of Andre Flo. With Manchester United facing a difficult day at Tottenham as well. A win for Chelsea here could be very significant in the short, medium and longer term. They have it in their grasp, there's no doubt about that. Arsenal, apart from 1 or 2 spells in the first half when they passed the ball neatly through midfield, have not looked a side truly capable of threatening Chelsea's proud defensive record. To get anything from this game, they've really got to become the first team to score a goal here in the league this season. They've got to score 2. Kanu. At start of the weekend, play tomorrow at Everton. Sunderland, who began the day in 3rd place, also in action tomorrow at West Ham. Arsenal know how difficult that is. That's if it stops raining. The weather forecast is for even worse conditions tomorrow. So that time by Adams. Vivas. Silvinho. Poyet. Nice to take by Sutton, who was the furthest forward for Chelsea. Easy to make progress with the ball through the puddles now. Parla making light of that. Kanu. Well, he was waiting and waiting for the right moment, and he waited too long. Parla. Henry. Booted away by Desailly to good effect, really, to allow Sutton and Zola to try and get their act together. Petrescu. Here's Gianfranco Zola. Poyet in the centre. And, he and Sutton, real aerial power. The ball came in a bit low for Chelsea, particularly after the nature of the 2 goals had shown the value. Head high and beyond. The Blues are bossing it, there's no doubt about that. Deschamps. Given the age of some of their players, this particular Chelsea side, if they are going to win the league, you do feel maybe this is their best chance. There's a long, long way to go, and there are other distractions, of course, coming from Europe. Parlour. Dixon. Overmars. Kanu! And Chelsea have conceded at Stamford Bridge for the first time in the Prem. Kanu, a long leg, prodding the ball into the far corner before De Hui could get out a long arm to keep it out. Oh, battle very much back on again. 2-1. Still more than 15 minutes to go. Something for Arsenal supporters to cheer about at last. And the Nigerian got between Leboeuf and Desailly. Just caught Chelsea then slightly resting on their laurels. Dixon. Be a psychological test for Chelsea here. Deschamps. Zola giving chase. Martin Keown. Quicker defenders around. And Zola gave him a good run for his money then, and Chelsea get the throw. Poyet. Sutton stayed down. So the ball initially was going to pass beyond Chris Sutton, whether the wind caught it. Sympathy here from the referee and from the Arsenal defenders. Another angle on Kanu cracking Chelsea. All that has done in terms of the context of the match has breathed new hope into the Gunners. They're still trailing. To squeeze Chelsea in here. Try and pick the ball off. And look for a second route into Ed De Hui's net. And instead it's Chelsea that break out. Ferrer. Certainly showing plenty of mobility. He's there to help Petrescu. Arsene Wenger looking for even more from his team. Kanu. Shuke can't get there. But suddenly the back passes aren't routine now, and that was a scare for Chelsea. There wasn't any real roll on the ball, and Ferrer just had to make sure he stood his ground. Sutton, Parlour, Vivas taking over. Silvino's cross, straight forward for Leboeuf, but that comes off Poyet. Desailly having to turn. Incidents that were routine at 2-0 suddenly become that much more edgy at 2-1. It's been another goal for Bradford City. They'll be a little less edgy. They're 3-1 up at home to Leicester. Neil Redfern got that one. Sutton. Is there another goal in this game? which could give Arsenal some reward for their efforts, or if it came to Chelsea, would make sure of 3 points against their rivals from North London. Crowd confirmed at 34,900 and some. Shoehorned in here. Petrescu. The referee again showed good know-how, Alan Wilkie, sensing that there was going to be some sort of physical confrontation there. And he was perfectly placed to say Silvino for something that's more in the realms of the Rugby World Cup and the FA Premiership. Touchline, but they got out of it. The flag's gone up for offside. And here's some news for you from the Southampton-Liverpool game. Michael Owen, who came on as a substitute, has now had to leave the game with what we understand to be a recurrence of the hamstring injury that afflicted him for so many months either side of the summer break. Bearing in mind with England's playoff coming up against Scotland, it's bad news for England fans as well as Liverpool fans. Zola. Chelsea won't be in a hurry to take the throw, except they'll recall that Graham Lasso was booked for time wasting in the first half for dilly-dallying over a restart. Oh, and that's a little bit short by Ferrer to Desai. Conditions again making it more awkward for defenders now. Favillaro, in goes Keown, Schuker, Kanu, and Overmars. Henry making tracks into the centre. Schuker is there. Overmars can't get his cross in. Maybe Dixon can. Leboeuf drawn out of the middle. Overmars puts it in low. Kanu! 2-2! Well, the Nigerian has made it a nightmare for Chelsea, but such delight for Arsenal. And he found space again when Chelsea had somehow lost the key to the padlock. Well, Arsene Wenger still all frowns, but you might expect that expression on Gianluca Vialli's face. Fighting spirit we talked about. Arsenal have it, and they have just shown it. Well, it started slowly here at Stamford Bridge, but it's turning into a splendid battle now. One hopes. Oh, and Deschamps had an arm raised and just pulled the punch, I think. Well, Arsenal have found a hero in a team performance that hasn't really perhaps merited such a fight back. But whatever the trick is about scoring against Chelsea as a visiting team to Stamford Bridge, Kanu has it. Two 2-0 down, it's 2-2 now. Schuker. Kanu. Well, how is the
Psychological swing here. What do Arsenal do now? Do they settle for a point that looked way beyond them when Petrescu scored? Or do they go and try and win it? They won here 3-2 a couple of years ago. Nigel Winterburn, an unlikely source, whacked in a winner late on. And it's certainly going to be a fight to the finish. Dixon, Schuker. It's been a goal at the Dell. Liverpool, even without Michael Owen, have equalised against Southampton. Titi Camara, the scorer. Dixon. Here's Babayaro. And Kanu is there again. The big man with two very big goals for his club. And this is the second. Catching out Ed Defoe by his left-hand post, the near post. Goalkeepers hate being beaten there. Sutton. Yellow card for Sutton, fouling Keown. It's not fortress mentality now for Chelsea. Dixon takes the free kick. Adams. And Schuker trying to lift it up, I think, to volley it across the face of the goal. Arsenal get the throw. Come out by Desailly. Schuker. And it's the spray. He's got a wonderful back heel skill. Showed that at Wembley. Kanu. Got all sorts of tricks. That's Schuker, and Arsenal really finishing strongly here. Oh, it's such a surprise the way it's turned around, really, even given Arsenal's revered capacity for digging in deep. Adams. Straight up in the air by Deschamps. Arsenal get a boot to it here if they can. There might be a chance for a goal from Overmars. Well, Chelsea, who took their chances in the first two-thirds of the game, it's Arsenal now who are calling the tune and trying in extraordinary circumstances to get maximum points for a game that, well, we were writing the obituaries for them, really, in truth, on this particular afternoon. 3 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Penny for his thoughts, and a few lira for them. Overmars. Parlour. There was a bit of tugging before then. I think the culprit was Nelson Vivas. He's got a yellow card for a cynical piece of play. Babayaro. Poyet, who's found the goals so often on important occasions for Chelsea. It's handball by Dixon. Oh, referee was prepared to let it go. The assistant, I think, got it right. Skipped up. Definite movement there by Dixon, who was booked very early in the game. Can Gianfranco Zola produce one of his free-kick masterpieces here? The 2-0 lead. Can they get back in front again? Zola takes it. Well, David Seaman was covering that post. Well, there was a touch, and the decision was that it came off an Arsenal player. Martin Keown, maybe just after Chris Sutton. Zola takes it. Another corner. Put behind by Parla. Sutton and Poyet coming from deep. Desai as well. Leboeuf is in there. Leboeuf! Well, it took another touch along the way. It will surely be another corner. Frank Leboeuf, relatively unmarked. Hit Martin Keown. Home support rekindled here. Still trying to push out. Yarrow to play it back in. Tony Adams to try and win the header. Corner. Good response by Chelsea. But that sloppy spell found by Kanu's 2 goals for Arsenal. Too high for Sutton. To stoppage time. It's a throw. There will be 3 extra minutes, just as there was in the first half. Down Petrescu. Zola. Petrescu. It's a burst out by Thierry Henry. He's run it. The play looked up too soon. Maybe the line's almost been washed out by the rain on that far side. Sutton trying to guide it on with the chest. Keown, bit 2 miles off. To use up a bit of time here. Ed Dahoui left stranded. Chelsea, who had their best patch when it was pouring with rain, now in stoppage time, as Paulo Bonazza comes on, the sun is shining on Arsenal, and a certain Nigerian beanpole who has turned this match on its head. Arsenal want more. Bonazza. Parla had a look round to see if he'd got time. He has got time. He finds Bonazza. Well, all of us, including Gianluca Vialli, scarcely able to believe what we've seen and the way we've seen it, and this is the man responsible for it. Kanu. They get in again. Whistle, and no wonder Arsenal arms go up. Arsene Wenger, 50 yesterday, has got his birthday present. His team were 2-0 down, and they've made off with 3 points, thanks to Kanu's incredible contribution in the last third of the game. He scored, first of all, to have the honour of becoming the first visiting player to puncture Chelsea's resistance the Premiership here at Stamford Bridge this season. He scored the second to bring an unlikely point in truth at 2-2 it seemed, given Arsenal's general performance over the game. And then he outwitted Ed Dahoui, having, when they come to write the history of this particular season, this particular man will be remembered on this afternoon when the rain fell and suddenly the sun shone for Arsenal and Nwankwo Kanu. An incredible story has unfolded here before our very eyes, and Chelsea, who were 2 up, have to go off and contend with a final scoreline. Chelsea 2, Arsenal 3.